Good morning. So the topic which is given to me is what is general counsels? And I notice here that there are many general counsels, perhaps many students also. This profession is evolving. Perhaps many of you might not be aware what this concept of general counsel is and what this concept of in-house counsel is. And in this next 10 minutes of discussion on this, I would give you some perspective what general counsel is, what kind of role general counsel plays, etc. So first, it's absolutely my privilege to be here, and I would like to thank Vidhi sir for inviting me to share my views on this very relevant topic. It's also my privilege that I am, as a professional, as a lawyer, I'm acting as general counsel. And that too in today's corporate world. Today's corporate world, which is full of legal and regulatory challenges. And a role that has evolved into one of the most critical pillars of an organization in terms of governance, strategy, and so on. While the perception of a GC is often limited to legal compliances, the reality is far broader. We are not just lawyers, we are strategists, we are business enablers, we are risk mitigators, and above all, trusted advisors to the board. There is some reason why this topic has been given to me, that general counsel as a friend, philosopher, and guide to the board. And all these three words has some relevance: friend, philosopher, and guide. So let me give you a perspective what that general counsel does. In a typical day, when a general counsel goes to the office, he faces the modern day complexities. For example, when the morning starts with a negotiation on some M&A deal where you are discussing the mergers and amalgamations related complexities, legal complexities, and complexities go further wide when there's a global merger kind of thing. And there he needs to protect and preserve the interests of the organization which he is representing. In the afternoon, he is meeting the board of directors, briefing directors on various regulatory issues and challenges, some threats, cybersecurity threats, implications of the new legal framework, and so on. In the afternoon, he is meeting the senior advocates or the law firms and the lawyers in terms of briefing about some of the critical matters which are coming up for the hearing in the next day, or where the stakes are so high. In between, he gets a call that there is some investigation ordered in some location, and investigators are at their premises. In the evening, you will get some report that there's some accident happened in some plant site, and there's trade unions are creating ruckus there. Or in the evening, you get some information that one public interest litigation has been filed on some environmental issues by some vested interest. And media and the social media is just highlighting all those issues, and which is leading to reputational damage for the organization. Now, this is what a general counsel does. In a day, a general counsel is dealing with multifaceted issues. And all these multifaceted issues are somewhere either disrupting the business in one or the other manner, or they lead to some financial obligations in one or the other manner, or reputational damages. So basically, business disruption financial obligations, and reputational damage. Now, in each of these scenarios, the role of GC extends beyond the law. It's not pure law. You are managing multifaceted things. And there we are the philosophers. We are offering wisdom on governance and ethics. We guide, help businesses navigate these all complexities and uncertainties and all those challenges. And then we become a trusted voice for the boardroom. And we ensure that decisions are legally sound, yet commercially viable. And it's very important. Decisions need to be legally sound, but commercially viable. Now, this role has not come or evolved overnight. There is a history behind this role. The position of GC, and perhaps many of us in India might be hearing for the first time, but then this concept evolved in 19th and 20th century in the United States. And largely the reason was that as the business complexities are increasing, or legal and regulatory challenges are enhancing, you need someone within the organization who knows the organization, who knows the business, who can take decisions, who has that level of maturity in terms of understanding and comprehending issues. And that was the period in 19th and 20th century when this particular concept emerged. And just to give you the history of this, and this is typically called Cravath system. This is typically called Cravath system for the simple reason that there was a law firm, and the name of the law firm was Cravath, Swen and Morrell Law Firm. So Mr. Cravath of that firm, he was considered as the originator of this concept, for the simple reason I will give you perspective which then you can perhaps relate with that. At that point of time when the business complexities were increasing, this particular law firm has started hiring fresh law graduates. And those fresh law graduates were coming from the most prominent kind of law schools. Very intelligent boys, very intelligent candidates, lawyers. And they used to do all that work for the corporations. But then these lawyers were costing too high. Organizations realized, and in fact, Cravath, this particular law firm was very popular in terms of hiring from the business schools and then putting those people in the corporations. In late 70s onwards, organizations realized that why am I incurring this much of cost? If the law firm is providing me the competence from these very fresh law graduates, and they are coming from the good law schools, why can't I hire those people? And there this concept emerged, and the law organizations or law departments of the corporations, or in-house counsels department, or the GCs, GCs started hiring fresh law graduates from these very law schools. In a way, they tried to make the law firms redundant, that what you can do from an external lawyers, the same thing can be done in-house. And that is where the GC's concept, or the GC as a profession, is started evolving. And today, it's part of the core function of the corporate decision making, and GC is the key advisor as far as businesses are concerned. Now, just to give this perspective, the way in which it's evolved, particularly in India, it evolved in the last, I would say, 2 decades or so, most prominently in the last 1 decade, I would say. And for the simple reason that in today's world, businesses do not operate in isolation. There are lots of challenges from legal, regulatory, financial, reputational risk, and which demand that real-time decision-making. And real-time decision-making is only possible when someone is sitting in your office. Regulatory frameworks are evolving rapidly, whether it's India's new data protection law, or the sustainability-related laws, or the compliances-related laws in the UK and the Middle East, and so on. So I think these are the complexities which even one law firm cannot provide, and you need someone in-house. So this is where the GC plays a role of a strategist, enabler, and protector. And as a strategizer, and that is what I define as GC's role normally is, the strategizer for the business, enabler for the business, and protector for the business. By strategizers, he helped the board shape the corporate policy in alignment with legal frameworks and global best practices. As enablers, he ensures that business operations proceed smoothly while mitigating legal risk, and by guarding the company against disruptions, be it regulatory, financial, or reputational. So from handling a major contractual dispute that threatens the supply chain, to managing cybersecurity, to manage the investigations, or to manage various kinds of risk which is jeopardizing the businesses, GC ensures that business disruptions are minimal and corporate resilience remains strong. Now, looking ahead, the way in which we are progressing, the way in which the economy is growing today, our economy is, say, $3 trillion economy. In the times to come, we would be having $5 trillion, $10 trillion economy. And I think if I talk about the vision of 2047, we are talking about nearly $30 trillion economy. So this role of GC is bound to evolve. You might have heard the ESG, environmental social governance, that is now the key pillar as far as corporate functioning is concerned, and I think role is bound to be, increasing. Now, today, in today's world, GC is at the forefront of ESG implementation. He ensures regulatory compliances. He advises the board in terms of green financing, and of course, the best ethical business practices and the corporate governance. Moreover, in today's dynamic world, in terms of use of AI in legal affairs, or the data privacy laws, cross-border compliances, complexities in terms of litigations and arbitrations, and particularly as we are progressing towards a, say, 5 or 10 or $30 trillion economy, there would be lots of cross-border transactions, because let's accept this reality that this kind of economic growth cannot happen without innovation and technology and without funding. And both these things, innovation and technology and funding, is bound to come from outside, and so obviously there would be lots of cross-border transactions. So I see a huge potential in terms of this role getting further expanded. Now, studies suggest that companies with robust governance and legal frameworks attract more investments and face fewer regulatory penalties or regulatory issues. Studies also suggest that corporations with a strong legal governance witness around 15 to 20% increase in investor confidence and market valuation. And so all the more reasons in terms of focusing on this particular role. But I would also like to highlight this very fact that the way in which the role is evolving, in fact, our Government of India, the Ministry of Law and Justice, has recently came out with the amendment in the Advocates Act. And I think this is one of the most important legal reform which the government has initiated. Now, these proposed amendments would be redefining the legal profession and legal profession's engagement as far as corporate entities are concerned. These amendments aim to regulate in-house counsels standing within the legal professions. It's very, very important. Normally, till these amendments came, in-house counsels and GCs were not considered as lawyers for the simple reason that the Advocates Act was not recognizing them. But then when these proposed amendments would get implemented, they would be considered as a distinct class of legal profession. And in fact, in the legal practitioner's definition, the in-house counsels have already been added. So I think this would further solidify the GC's role, and it would become an integral part of the legal and the corporate ecosystem. Now, just to conclude, GC is no longer now just a legal advisor. They are the business partners, they are strategic thinkers, and guardians of corporate integrity. Now, just to conclude, let me leave you with a couplet that captures the essence of a general counsel. one who navigates storms, protects the enterprise, and stands on a pillar of wisdom and integrity. पहरेदार हूँ, रहबर भी हूँ, मैं रहनुमा भी, तूफानों में जो खेले वो काफिला भी हूँ. This is how I would describe General Counsel. So in the end, a General Counsel is not just a lawyer. We are the conscience of the corporation, the custodian of its values, and the bridge between risk and opportunity. As the business world transforms, so does our role. But one thing remains unchanged, our commitment to guiding, protecting, and enabling the enterprise. Thank you very much. Thank you.